Hi everyone, and welcome to How Our Garden Grows. In this video, we're going to take a look at sowing broccoli. And right here, I've got two different varieties. One in particular does pretty well in my area. I'm going to give the Waltham another chance, but this variety that I found, the Gypsy Hybrid, tends to do a little bit better in my area. It's slower to bolt, which is really, really great here. I can start it super early and it seems to do really well to establish early. Now, it's a little bit early in my area, but what I figured out about broccoli is that, at least in Colorado, we tend to do this giant flip between winter to sudden summer temperatures. And with all the different fluctuations, a lot of these cabbage variety type of vegetables, like say you're doing cabbage, you're doing Brussels sprouts, a lot of different varieties, they tend to bolt very, very quickly when they get that sudden temperature shift. So sometimes you just kind of have to experiment. There's a lot of different varieties out there. The only way to really figure out what does well in your particular zone or area is to experiment. Grow several varieties, buy a few different seed packs, and give it a try. It honestly took me a good couple of years to figure out that this variety does really well for me. So that's what I'm going to sow the most of. I'm going to do a lot of cups. The other thing that I really want to be doing this year with broccoli is I really want to create a full green stalk tower of nothing but broccoli. I want to be able to flash freeze some of the stuff that I don't use, to be able to use it throughout the summer. It's still relatively fresh, but I want to be able to have those kind of type of vegetables that my wife and I really, really enjoy. So that's one of the goals for this year, is to grow a little bit less of some of the stuff for fun and a little bit more of stuff that we can actually consume and use that we like. So this is why I'm growing so much of this stuff. And we have such a narrow window again to do this. So what I've learned to do is start this earlier than I shouldn't really be starting it in zone 5. However, I do have that green stalk tower that I was talking about, and it does have a caddy at the bottom. So what I've done starting last year, and I'll do this with my peppers, my warm season crops as well, I can just roll it in and out of my garage. My garage never freezes. It never frosts in there. So if we do get a cold spell coming through, it just goes in for a few days, but it also gives me the opportunity to roll it out during the warm days to get these plants that extra establishment. So please like and subscribe and follow me. And I will actually take you through that whole process, especially with this new goal that I have for a really nice broccoli and cauliflower tower. So let's get to planting. All right, so basic overview again. I've covered this in a lot of seed starting videos already, but you want a pre-moistened starting mix. I use a small little plastic tote. I fill it with water, just enough to get this nice and moist. You don't have to soak it, but you want a nice loose seed starting mix. I use the Jiffy mix. If anyone's interested, I've talked about this in other videos, but you want something that's really nice, light and fluffy, very finely ground, stuff that you can compress together because it's moist, but then it also breaks apart just like that. All right, so that's very, very important. Get it in here, make sure that it's moist. A lot of times these seed starting mixes are gonna be very, very dry. So if you water it after the fact, after you've sown seeds, it's just gonna float. A lot of it's gonna compact on itself and you're not gonna get a really good result. So you want to have a nice moist seed starting mix, and then you want to also pack it down. I mean, I've already done some nice packing. Remember, this is very, very, very loose kind of mix, so you can squeeze it together, it can compact, but it still breaks apart. So it's a nice fine mixture for small little seedlings trying to establish their root systems. So firm seed starting mix, pack it in firmly, make sure that it's pre-moistened. The next thing you want to do is, with all brassicas or cabbage family varieties, is they're all about 1/4 of an inch deep. So you can't really go wrong there. So I've put little indentations here. You can see 4 different ones in this cup, and then I've put a seed in each. What's going to happen is when these get to size, and I'm talking about 1 or 2 true leaves, so those are the adult leaves of the plant, and I'll show you how this happens. Then we'll go ahead and we'll split all 4 of these, and we'll transplant them into larger cups. And that's part of the reason I'm starting this so early, is I can get these plants really to good size, so that when I'm ready to go into the greenstock tower, they really are only going to take about 30 days or so to fully mature. And I'm going to get really nice heads before the temperatures get too warm. So there we go. Basically what's going to happen once you sow them is go ahead and just cover them up and pack them in nicely. You don't have to overdo it. I find that new gardeners have the tendency to really just sort of bury their seeds way deeper than they need to. Remember, in nature, seeds get scattered by wind, they get kind of pounded in by snow and rain, and then they germinate naturally the next spring. So there's nobody really forcing these down in nature. And then just go ahead and do a nice light watering in. And you can go ahead and pack it in again. That is a really nice starting for the broccoli seeds. So I'm doing the same for all the rest of these. And basically that's about it for broccoli sowing. And again, a lot of other varieties, kale, different types of heading cabbages, collards, if you like to grow those, they're all sown about the same way. But we'll still do videos just for the titles, and just so everyone can get some of the exposure to how you sow this type of a crop. So please like and subscribe again, and thanks so much for watching. Please check out our other YouTube videos, and please comment if you have any questions. Thanks again for watching.